And we are going to start our second event now about great building initiatives in Africa. So I pass the floor to Nayombe. If you could, will have 10 to 15 minutes to present what great things are you doing back there that you can share with us and inspire us in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Afterwards, we'll have a time to put some ideas and ask questions and go to a breakout room to talk in a more intimate group. So please go ahead. Nayombe, please present yourself and bring your best, I'm sure, to inspire all of us.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I hope you can get me loud and clear.
Perfectly.
Okay. What happens to a girl after death of a mother? A girl loses her shield and protector at age 11. Born to privilege, without a care in the world, her world is turned upside down with the loss of her mother. She goes from having everything to not having, from being chauffeured everywhere to walking long distances just to get to school. Everything lost in an instant, separated from her siblings for many years. Ubuntu means I am because you are. Ubuntu gumuntu ngabantu. Umuntu ngumuntu ngabantu. A Zulu phrase which simply means a person is a person through other people. An African philosophy that took pride in the community and service to others. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Now, when we talk about Ubuntu as Africans, are we still proud of the word? A word that depicts values that we claim to live by. This meant something in the African context. When we talk about a parent dying, there were always relatives ready to take up the role of parent to the children left behind. This meant that they would take up the responsibility to protect and educate this child up until a time when the child is ready to stand on their own as an adult. Unfortunately, the concept of oneness and common humanity has been lost in translation over the years. Ubuntu, a set of values that encouraged human dignity, mutual respect, and peaceful relationships within the community, co-responsibility. A concept that we should be proud of as Africans, but it is also one that once failed me. My name is Nayombe Martha Muliyunda. I am that 11-year-old girl. Karate molded me into this strong woman here before you today. I was introduced to karate by a friend of mine at age 17. At that time, I was angry with God, angry with my aunties and uncles who were entrusted with the responsibility to take care of me, to protect me. There I was, a 13-year-old girl attending night school because her uncle decided to squander her school fees. It is such heartbreaking experiences that make me say Ubuntu failed me. Karate made me redirect my anger and to turn it into passion, a hunger to be the best at everything I set my mind to. I call it beauty for ashes. Allow me to quote the Bible in Isaiah 61, verse 3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead a spirit of despair. I kept on training, going against the social, dictates of what a woman should be. Fast forward 2022, I graded to 4th Dan black belt and am now the highest ranked female in the country. And I am also the first woman to own a dojo where I train kids aged 4 and above. I fell in love with karate at first sight. Before I even learned the principles of the art, I think my first instinct was to learn to protect myself. Coming from the high life of the suburbs into a densely populated area, a compound, it was quite a traumatic experience. I felt I needed to protect myself from the rough boys who were more often than not, jumping at every opportunity to bully and harass the girls. I later learned that the first thing you learn in karate is a block, because it is often used to protect oneself and others. Some of the principles of karate are discipline, respect for self, respect for others, courtesy, perseverance, resilience, service to others, and what I like to call beauty and grace. Because when you look at a karateka performing kata, there should be some grace and beauty in there. When we talk about culture, especially in the African context, karate wasn't the most ideal sport for a girl to take on. Her place was in the kitchen, learning to cook, walking long distances to fetch water, and taking it marital advice, which was given as preparation for marriage. Because at 11 in Africa, they think you're ready for marriage. But anyway, unsolicited lessons for marriage. Household chores became the order of the day. And for the uninitiated, balancing a bucket of water on your head is not as easy as it looks. The first time I did it, all the water ended up on my body. It was like taking a shower while you walked. But I hoped that I would get home with some water left in the bucket. In African culture, these chores are exclusive to the girl child, leaving her with very little time to study, and most times not even attend school. My aunties and uncles looked down on me. They thought I was this wild child who sought the attention of the boys. Little did they know that the boys in the dojo didn't even want me there. I was at war at both ends. I had to prove that I deserved a place in the dojo, but also had to prove to my aunties that I could cook and clean. I literally earned my place in the dojo, but not so much in the domestic arena. And one of the myths about girls who took on karate was that they would not be able to have kids. But lo and behold, I have 4 kids. Thank God for that. And my aunties always reminded me about the fact that I would never have kids. Girl Kicks Foundation is a registered NGO under Community Development and Social Welfare in Zambia. We are in collaboration with Stitch in Fair Fight, based in Holland, and these are our main sponsor. We use karate to educate, empower the girl child using principles of karate. Our aim is to train the girls to be world-class athletes, give them the opportunity and facilitate their participation in both local and international tournaments. But that is not all. We want to give girls an opportunity to further their education. We want to train female athletes who are determined, just like I was, to be academically sound. These are young girls who, like me, will grow up to one day be mothers and community leaders. We believe that educating the girl child translates into stronger communities of women who will do anything to also educate their children. Now, African culture still dictates that a woman's place is in the kitchen. We are giving the girls the right to dream big and telling them that anything is possible if you set your mind to it. Our first center is in Chibolya compound in Lusaka, Zambia. This is one of the most densely populated areas in the country and is notorious for its open drug culture and gang violence. The community on several occasions has welcomed a cleanup by police, but these were not so successful. Gender-based violence is the order of the day. Women and children make up, most of the population. So you find that teenage pregnancies, early marriages, drug abuse, poverty, and even just a lack of basic information on HIV/AIDS. All these cause a huge problem, and all these affect women and children firsthand. It is for these reasons that I chose Chivolia as our first center, with the hope of opening similar centers in other areas of the country. Despite government's efforts to provide free education, most children still cannot access this free education for the fact that some parents and guardians cannot afford to provide basic necessities such as school uniforms, shoes, books, school bags, sanitary wear. Now, menstrual hygiene is one of the major deterrents for a girl child to attend school or fully participate in sport. In such areas, sanitary wear is considered a luxury. And this is where we come in to try and revive the word Ubuntu, a sense of community and oneness, by bridging the gap between government and the guardians. So far, we have managed to take 15 girls back to school with the help of Professor Chan, OBE. His Kokmewa Foundation provided school uniforms, shoes, school bags, books, and writing materials. Professor Chan, who is also my karate master, introduced me to Dr. Virginie Sevan Miklos, who is the founder of Fair Fight. He is also the only non-Zambian who was recently awarded a president's insignia of meritorious achievement for his philanthropic work in Zambia by the President Hakainde Hichilema. I later discovered that Ginny and I share similar stories, but most importantly, we share the same love for karate and the passion to help and empower underprivileged girls. That was the beginning of the collaboration. We have over 35 girls registered, and we hope to double the number of girls sponsored to school to 30 by 2023. 7 of the girls recently participated in a tournament and managed to outclass the girls from Fair Fight, Zimbabwe, taking gold in Team Kata. I am here and I proudly say that this program is proving to be a success because we are showing great results both in karate training and in academics. Having only been in existence for the last 8 months, this wouldn't be possible without the karate family who are dotted around the world. Now, doing all this with my karate community, who I would love to call as my family right now, and everyone else who has been a part of this journey thus far, makes me believe in Ubuntu again. I am because you are.